All right, let's get started. Just first off, I'm just gonna want to mention that I'm in a different location than normally, and that might mean that there might be some background noise. Hopefully it won't be so bad. But but if there suddenly is some kind of car noises or whatever, that's why. So today we are looking at drawings from Maya's Artcraft. Shaq sent in 2 drawings, so like the other one is pretty simple, so I'm just gonna quickly go over that. It's this one. She was talking about how she thought it, like compared to her sketch, it looked, a bit stiff, it wasn't as lively as the sketch. So let's see if maybe we can try and do something about that. Well, the first things first is, it's a cute, stylized character, nothing wrong there. But like, it's very, straight up and down. Like, the only thing different is, the arm lifted up like that. So, I mean, honestly, I could probably just move it around to get, like, selected and, like, edit it. But let's try and sketch over it. So, have this very stylized head. And with his eyes here. The like, especially with so stylized a character as this, like the eyes seems to be kind of a different shape, and especially when you're looking directly onto it, like I think like maybe they shouldn't be, but like if we go from this one, it's kind of a teardrop shape with a little eyelash. So if we try to just make that other eye match that a bit more. And then we have a little nose and a cute smile. Also, this eyebrow is kind of falling off. But yeah, maybe just exaggerate the eyebrows expression a bit more. It's generally good to have kind of the eyebrows follow kind of a line. Am I mumbling a lot? I'm sorry. Something like that, maybe. Just bring it in there. Now I can't draw eyebrows. Okay. Copy and paste it is. I mean, again, because it's symmetrical, I could have used a symmetry tool or something like that, but I'm gonna start breaking up the symmetry soon, so. Oh, one thing. I these stylized fur here, I mean, this is a stylistic choice, obviously, so if you want to do it that way, that's completely fine. I just think they look a bit strange. Like, probably, in my opinion, it'd probably be better just to have a few more stylized int tufts, something like that. Depending on what direction you want to go. Okay. Now let's try breaking up the symmetry a bit more. So that's an easy way to bring some life. Like if we have the plane of the shoulders going that and the hips going that way. And then we can have the head also tilting. No. Right, neck, shoulders. And maybe also this arm is just kind of hanging there. Maybe do something a bit more like this or something. Try and keep it inside this sticker shape. There we go there. And maybe bringing this out just a tiny bit more. Adding in the pupils again. And maybe moving him a bit. I think he's a bit off center now. Something like that. And just gonna quickly Right, so yeah, something like this maybe. obviously this could be. Maybe just make this. But yeah, something like that, maybe. Now let's move on to the other drawing. So, this is a fan art piece of Spyro, you know, which is a game. And Maya's art was talking about how like this is the first time drawn him, but and how she wasn't really familiar with his shape language yet. So let's take a look at that and his anatomy or something like that. But first off, I want to say like I really liked the sunset colors you got going on. Those turned out pretty nice. Okay. So first off, we have some awkward cropping going on here, like having it just touching the edge. That's not very nice. But it's a fairly quick fix. Like just giving him a bit more breathing room. Let's see. Just extend this up like that, and just quickly color this in. There. That's better. It's just nicer to not have any tangents like that. Okay, now let's take a look at the anatomy. Now I found some various reference pictures of him. Maybe I should expand this so it's easy. And just, you know, when looking at these official images of him, of Spyro, I would say that basically you've made him too round. Like, Spyro has some very clear, defined, sharp edges and planes. And when you're drawing, it's like everything is pretty rounded. So that's the main thing probably. All this like general thing with his shape, like you have like his chest going in here and giving him a little belly, but where he kind of seems to be more top heavy is probably not the right word, but he's more triangular with his chest being bigger, and then he's getting smaller when it goes back. So yeah, well, let's give it a shot. So this reference image here I have here, it's pretty nice because it has a very similar angle to what you were going for. So let's see what we can do with that. Also, one thing I was wondering when I was looking at this, is this supposed to be an eyebrow or something? Like, it doesn't... Or is it a part of the horn? Either way, it doesn't really work, because if it's an eyebrow, he doesn't really he has like brow ridges, but like he doesn't have like a colored eyebrow. And if it's part of the horn, well, from the angle you've drawn the horn, it should probably be more like that. Even though that's, I mean, if looking at the reference, the horn seems like they're connected further back, like they're connected more like here. But yeah, let's give it a shot. Obviously, the thing about fan art is also if you're trying to match like the original style, or you're trying to do it in your own style, or some kind of mix. Like, I'm usually doing some kind of mix just because if I try to draw purely in my own style, so like I have a hard time making the characters look like themselves. But yeah. So first of all, gotta bring that brow ridge out a lot of there, and then we have there, and then a much more squared snout. Like, yeah. Kind of rounded here, and then a bit of lower jaw. And I don't know if seems like you're going for a less aggressive shape with the eyebrows, so try and bring those up. And then they kind of just fade out in the back. And we should probably be able to see a bit of the cheek on the other side too. Something like that. And then we have back of the head. Also, another thing is, like, I mean, he's kind of crouched forward, so, but it still seems like he's missing a bit of his neck. Like, if you look at this image, particularly, like, probably should be a bit more visible. I don't know. And let's take a look at the horns, because if you're trying to go for the official look, then both the placement and the shape is not quite right. Like, oh, sorry. Right. Great, I'm talking about the reference, but then I had it blocked. Awesome. I'm not great at this whole streaming thing. Okay. Yeah. Kind of goes, you know, down. And up. And then swoops back again. And, this angle. I mean, drawing horns in the correct angles are always difficult, but I think it probably should be more like that. And then we have the crest spikes, whatever you want to call it. Let's see. Okay, the first one is probably supposed to be a bit smaller. And then we have a bigger one. And then it goes now that neck. I don't know if I can. I guess. Yeah, I don't know if I can add that without moving the heads. Like, probably something there, and then the chest comes, or it's a tough pose. Maybe something like that. Just move that out there a bit. Right, so thing just kind of tapers toward his tail. So let's got this. Does this look completely... Probably gonna end up changing the body shape a lot now, or like kind of the pose, to make it. I will try to at least preserve like the original intent. Right. So something like that. Another thing is like in the original, like the limbs are kind of very much stuck to the body, kind of. So you're going for, you know, relaxed kind of feeling. So maybe let's see. So if we bring out this get it a bit away from the body. And let's see if we can. Or again, with the round, like you've drawn it very round, but like the toes are very like square in the official art. Actually, I don't know if I've made the arm too big compared to the body now. Ah, the wonders of digital art. It used it. Could also maybe bring this arm back in again. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just messing around. Okay, right. I think it's kind of got a very distinct kind of ridge down the middle. Kind of get that in there. Okay, now me at this point I don't know if it would be easier for me to like not look at the original drawing. house is a mess. Oh. Gotta resist the temptation to make the tail really long. I like to give characters really long tails, but he doesn't really have that. Maybe. Something like that instead. Yeah, I think that probably works better. And then we got that weird spiral snail house shape on the tail. Right. Just need the other arm. Let's see. Shoulder here, the shoulder gonna be there. And again, bringing this more out, maybe. I'm changing a lot of stuff, I know, so, you know, feel free to ignore whatever you don't think works. And lastly, we have the wings. Yeah, I think you made the wings just slightly on the small side. Like, I mean, compared to his body, they are kind of small, but just like got this, and then probably more something like that. Oh, because I because I changed like well the shoulders where I moved it down a bit. Yes, the second wing. Nah. When it's tilted like that. I mean, I'm not even sure if, with the way I've placed things now, I'm not completely sure if like it would be visible. Maybe something like that. Yeah. So that was a lot of changes. um, yeah. But with all the changes I made here, I don't know if, well, I should probably easier and to shrink it a bit, and because again, because when what I've done is how I drawn it, I ended up getting close to the edge of the canvas again, so I just shrunk it down a bit. Um, but yeah, that was my, I don't know, best guess as to what you could do to improve the pose and the proportions, shape, whatever, stuff like that. With that lit, I guess we can take a quick look at like the colors and shading. Well, the rendering, whatever. First off, like, I think it's a really cool effect you've going on with the scales, but I think you might have overdone it a bit. Like, especially if you look here, like, he does have visible scales, but there are way less of them, and they're bigger. Like, compare these he has here on his shoulder, like, and you've done here, they're tiny compared to that. Like, again, just kind of big, chunky shapes. But I mean, I guess that's a stylistic choice. Like, if you don't want to completely follow how their official art looks like, that's completely fine. Right. So this is either sunset or sunrise, and kind of have the light coming kind of from below, which is cool. At least that's kind of, well, actually no, it's kind of coming more like that, I guess, from that direction. But yeah, you can probably, I mean, this is just simple cell shading, like, and that works fine. But I mean, this is one of the cases where, because especially because the background is so soft and stuff, like the character seems a bit harsh compared to the soft background, so I don't. So, well, we can always first of all do my favorite gradient trick. Like if we take a good bright orangey red, and then whoops, add a gradient in the direction of the light. Yeah, look at that. Like, see how much more like he now blends into the background? Like, look at that. Also the layer mode I've set to is add glow, but like I don't, that's a Clip Studio layer mode. I'm not completely sure if you have that specific one in other programs, but I mean, they have Photoshop and what are they, Paint Tool, Cyan, whatever, they have like similar modes, different modes. Like one of those, add a glow, color dodge, whatever, those kind of modes. And they, well, they worked very nicely. Um, Also, one thing, like the belly seems kind of too light colored. Like I feel like it should like be the same color as, you know, the horns. Wonder if I can just. Come on, don't freeze on me now. Yeah, just like that. That was like a very quick fix, but you know. Okay, so I mean, I guess I can try and fiddle around with the shading a bit, but I mean, it already works pretty nicely. Some kind of. Just have a. And my screen froze. Great. Come on. Dude. Hello. Come on. You can do this. Great. Awesome. Okay, let's try again. Basically, like, kind of just be a bit more consistent with the shadows. like you kind of just followed here, but like in shadow should probably be more like that. I don't know if it's supposed to be kind of have some reflected light from the sunset here. Kind of seems like it because you have, you know, those very orangey colors going on there. But yeah. But the main light's coming from top, so maybe. Also, with the direction of the light, like these highlights, they should probably be more like over on this side. Same here, like the highlight should probably be in a different place. Oh, whoops. Forgot to erase that. All right. So. Right, let's try adding some, whoops, highlights too. I'm not used to having it that wide. It kind of messes with where I'm used to things being. So again, like instead of having it there, the highlights should probably be more like there, there. This seems fine, maybe a bit there. So we have some bit there. I mean, you can always blend this out some more. I mean, this looks a bit weird when you can see the old highlights, but you know. And then I guess we can have some more darker ones down here. I don't know if this is working. But I mean, it's cool that you have the red and then you have some more blue ones from the sky. That's cool. don't know, is this an improvement? I don't know anymore. Yeah. No, that's probably the blue one. Too many colors. And this one here should probably be brighter. And then a bright blue. Yeah, I think I honestly don't know if these highlights added anything or if they just look weird. I think I'm gonna leave them off for now. Like, I mean, again, they look weird because the old highlights are still there, so. Yeah, but I mean, you can still, from what I did, you can get a better idea of it. Just, keep in mind where the light is coming from. So if it's coming from, this direction, don't add the highlights on like this side. But honestly, I think that's pretty much what I can do. Like, because, I mean, the background is fine, like, maybe a bit fuzzy, but it still works perfectly fine. So, I think I'm just gonna call this a day. I hope that helped somewhat, and I'm gonna, upload the video to YouTube and upload the finished drawings and the correction sketch on DeviantArt so you can have a look at it. Oh. Should I? But yeah, I think this was it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you some other time, hopefully. Bye bye.